Hopefully, coming through to us right now is Simon from the Cheshire Cheese Company. Simon.
Hello. Hi there.
Hi there. Thanks so much for coming in. I know you've been a busy man the last few days. Your face is popping up everywhere. You've had problems. But Mike's got a few words to say to you.
I have actually, yeah.
About your cheese.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm actually a massive fan. I absolutely love the product that you put out. I've been having your cheese for years. I've had the Black Bob, the sticky toffee. Your jerk cheese has been incredible, but possibly my favourite cheese ever is the Al Gringo, which the chili, lime and tequila cheddar. I think it's brilliant, that cheese. So I'm on your side on this all the way.
Excellent. Yeah. This is quite a popular one there. Not Black Bob is the all-time favourite, closely followed by caramelised onion rioja. So yeah, it's and we have grown a massive fan base, not just the UK, but we've started to grow one in the EU, which is obviously the problems that we're having. Yeah.
Can you explain to people who may have not picked up on this story what happened to you and the background to it, really?
Yeah, sure. We were from this year, from the beginning of the new year, we came back with high hopes and great plans, and we started shipping to the EU. Our consumer parcels. This is from the online orders there, because we have three sections to the build. A wholesale division, so we ship big container loads and pallets of cheese to various countries, including the EU and Canada, America. But we also have an online business, which is our consumer sales. So you buy your cheese online, 20, 30 quid, we ship it off directly to your country. So we started sending our parcels off as normal, as we had been doing for several years before, and 100% of them came back again. So the problem was that we couldn't find out exactly why they were coming back, and DHL, our couriers, they were struggling as well. They were saying, well, it must be teething problems, it must be paperwork, it must be invoices. And it took a quite painful 2 weeks until sort of the 18th of January before it became apparent what that actually was, what the problem was. The problem is that new regulations have come in for shipping what everybody in this industry believed, was for wholesale. So one of the regulations is that you now have to ship anything into this foodstuff into the EU, a EHC document. Now that is a certificate that's issued by a veterinary surgeon. I know it sounds really weird, but it really is. A real vet comes in, looks at it and basically says, yes, this is cheese made from cow's milk, and therefore I'm going to stamp a piece of paper. For the cost for doing that is £180 per consignment. Okay. So it's not something you can.
Wow.
Can I just clarify? Consignment. You're not talking about a shipping container. You're talking about each individual product sent.
This is either a product sent or a container. This is where the problem lies.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, this regulation came in and said that they were treating exactly the same as somebody buying 35 quid of the cheese online. Now,
correct.
Let me give you the equivalent to this.
I get that.
We ship in bulk to Canada and the United States and Norway, other non-EU countries, and there is exemption in place for all consumer purchases, and they have an allowance. So you can buy in Canada and America the cheese online, and you don't need an EHC certificate with it, obviously, because we wouldn't be shipping there if we did. So what seems to have happened is somewhere, who knows where, at some point, either it's a fast one by the EU or an oversight by the UK, it has meant that we've had to stop completely selling our online sale products over to the EU, and there's just no way around this. There isn't a side door shortcut. That's it. It's end at the moment.
So you were going to expand your company, and the way I see it, you asked for advice on this, and they said, well, you should produce a fulfillment centre in France or in the EU.
Well, first of all, it was exceptionally difficult trying to find or get any help or any information. So I'm also the director of the Hearties and Creamery in Derbyshire. So we're the smallest Stilton maker in the world, but the finest Stilton makers, we would say as well.
Sure.
So I contacted Sarah Dean's MP. She is the Matlock MP that covers Matt there. I also contacted David Rotley, who is my local MP in Macclesfield. And David and Sarah eventually got back to me. They were as surprised as I was that we couldn't get anything through. Now, again, they couldn't actually shed any light into this. It was up to DHL in the end. DHL on the 18th of January, they sent me over a list and said, we know why this is. And here's a list of the 26 countries. And next to it was animal foodstuffs are disallowed from Germany. All meat, cow's milk, seafood, fish, banned from, etc., etc. Each country had a slightly different variation, but the bottom line was you couldn't ship anything that's got foodstuffs in. So they again reported back to them, and the hardest thing really was actually making people believe me that this was a real thing and had actually happened. They had completely and utterly missed the fact that no food producer can now ship directly to the EU.
This is amazing. Isn't
Well,
it?
we've had on this show for the last from the minute the referendum came up, we were talking about the downside of this possibly being way worse than anything you could possibly get. And we've been not campaigning, but certainly we've been on the side of not doing this insanity. And this sounds like an absolute nightmare. What do you think, if you don't mind me asking? Because I'm a person that also runs a company based in Manchester. I understand how difficult you've had this year with COVID and stuff, and you should have been doing all right out of that side of it, the exports. Maybe that could have compensated. And how much damage has this done to you?
Well, I mean, there was two things really one, it's exceptionally disappointing because we had a fantastic year last year. We decided, I'm a positive person, I run a positive company, and therefore we decided 2 years ago that we would actually we're going to make a go of this there. We then got the multilingual versions of our website created, so we got the French and the German versions on there. We invested heavily in marketing last year as well, and our actually whole online business grew by 400%. A lot of that was obviously because because we had obviously people shifting to online, but we'd also actually grown the EU market because we thought, well, let's have a running start at this one. Let's give ourselves a good chance. Let's really push it. So when we go into the alleged sunny uplands and promised world we were all told we're going to have, we had a fighting chance. We'd be a bit ahead of the game. So nobody could ever moaning, moping, or not positive about the future. So the other thing we realised, because we had such substantial growth last year, was we'd outgrown our current warehouse and fulfilment. So myself and my fellow directors said, well, let's pool our pensions here and let's build a bigger fulfilment centre opposite where we are now. So we've got the planning permission in Macclesfield. That's all done. Yeah. So around about £1 million by the time it's built to actually build this place, because we thought, well, we've got another £180,000 of the business, and we expect that to be 250,000 growth by next year from the EU alone.
Sure.
We became thought, well, that it's not really that much of a gamble there. Good contribution. So to sort of slapped around the face a bit with the start realization, and it was me forwarding to the trade bodies as well, NFU to DEFRA, would you believe, the government, and the MPs. Here's the list. I think this is what's happening there. And it was really hard to make them sort of switch the light on and go, actually, well, it looks like it is. So I ended up a few days later again after that. Finally, DEFRA rang me, and a representative was obviously sympathetic, but said, I'm afraid there doesn't seem to be a quick fix to this one. It's we don't know what's gone on and why, but and I said, well, one of my only options could be to open up in the EU a distribution centre, because I can't see a way around this. To which I was told, well, to be honest with you, that has to be your only option, because quite genuinely, there isn't any other option.
It sounds absolutely awful. I mean, if you were to, if you could speak to people now who were watching this show, who, they were sceptical one way or the other about Project Fear, about the real repercussions of doing business if you don't get this deal correct. What would you say if they're still saying, this is just an isolated incident and maybe this deal is okay and this is just one of those things?
I mean, I think as it stands at the moment there, I think what we need is a united front of basically UK consumers here to actually do what I've done, make as much noise as possible to actually try and get myself heard. Yes. And interestingly, only today, I passed the message over to Sarah Deans and said that last night via email, and David Rutley said, look, here's an update for you. I've done 50 plus interviews up to now, not just with TV, radio and news in the United Kingdom, but all over the world. I mean, I've got another 15 booked in already as well for the next few days, including Saturday. Yeah. This is, I've got an interview after this with South Korean radio at 10:40. Okay. We've got Chinese state television coming down on Monday, German national TV coming up on Saturday, ZDF television. So this is actually, this is global. This, I mean,
good for you.
Really what it is, there's a great interest in this from all over the world, because they want to know what's gone wrong as well, I think, really.
This is the reality. You're giving them the reality, and fair play to you. You've done it well.
Simon, who do you actually blame for this? Who do you, if you could, I mean, it's a hard one to say, I know, but does it lie on Boris's front door?
I tell you, I think it is the government's fault and my theory on this is it's all to do with the non-alignment with EU food standards in October 2020. So I don't know if you remember, there was a battle over the agriculture bill.
It was,
and in October 2020, it went to the Lords, it was rejected. They said, you're not lowering our food standards. Yeah. It went back to the House, and then Boris Johnson used his whip and majority to make amendments to the bill that allowed the bill to pass and gave the UK government the right to lower standards. Now, my understanding was that his big dream was that Donald Trump would get another term and we would have a fantastic US trade deal for food. The only way that could possibly happen is by Britain reducing its own food standards. This is food standards we helped to put in place and I've been using since 2002. My belief is that if we had not reduced our food standards, this wouldn't be happening. I wouldn't be having an interview with you. All the fishermen would still be actually able to get their catch over there. Our exports of all our food producers, because I'll tell you what, we have shipped wholesale in the last week. It's an absolute nightmare. Where it should take 10 minutes, it took nearly 3 hours, and there is no help to actually work out what's going on. So, I think the government is to blame in the fact that they jumped the gun. They believed there was going to be some fantastic, lucrative trade deal on offer, but the person that could have instigated that is no longer actually in power.
Yeah.
So
it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. I mean, the British food industry. You look back and how it's grown and how it's got better, and the quality's just risen and risen. And here we are now in a situation where this is happening. It's criminal. Yeah. I actually think it's criminal, and it's just heartbreaking. Any story for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the one thing has happened through the campaigning is I had a phone call today from Saudis, and she has said she would like to arrange a meeting for myself with the ministers, George Eustace and Victoria Prentice, herself and my own constituent MP, David Rutley, because they said they very much want to actually discuss and try and find some form of solution for us. Now, I've already said to them, I can't see a future in the EU for us trading online, because we've looked at the cost of having a fulfillment centre out there. It's just too expensive. It's we're not big enough to be able to actually justify that kind of cost. Sure. So my other option is to look completely opposite direction, which is actually the USA and Canada. We already export to both of those places in wholesale. We can ship to them. The only slight obstacle is that it is more expensive to ship online parcels to Canada and the US. We have to use a 2-day service. It's an average about £20 per parcel. If we could get that down to, I don't know, £12 a parcel, £10 a parcel, that would be a fantastic market, not just for us, but for the rest of the UK.
I understand that, but it's a crazy situation where we've got France literally 12 miles across the channel, and we can't deal with the country like that. It's like we're at war with them. It's not. I mean, I read the other day maybe trade wars coming from the EU towards us, and I'm just lost with the whole situation. And it's not about politics, really. This is. It's about it's not about who you vote for. If you Remain, I presume you was a Remainer, by the way.
Yes, I was Remain. I fully accepted the democratic vote, as we should all accept democracy. Yeah. And as you know, nobody could accuse me of moping about it, feeling sorry for myself, because I wouldn't have invested in the way I did with multi-language and also lots of marketing and increasing that EU customer base. So it was a positive response to the situation.
Simon, thank you so much for joining us. Unless you've got a few more words to say, Mike.
Well, I just want to say that, fantastic business. Please don't give up on the North here, and keep fighting.
No, never.
Keep fighting.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the last thing I can say is actually that when I was talking to DEFRA, I don't know if you realise this, but there's no reciprocal arrangement in place at all. So at the moment, all of the EU's producers are allowed to freely ship into the UK, zero restriction. They've got 6 months get out of stay in Britain.
So much worse.
Card. Yeah. So she actually said, and I said, so what's that all about? She said, well, if it makes you feel any better, it's any consolation. In July, we're going to reciprocate, and we're going to ban the EU producers shipping foodstuffs directly to consumers in the UK. I said, well, that's not actually a win for anybody. That's not a win for the EU consumer, the UK consumer. It just reduces our freedom of choice. That is a tit-for-tat political battle, which we should be not involved with for a start. They want to have a little bicker and then leave the consumers out of it.
Yeah. I think it just needs some adults in charge, really, because I'm just lost.
It would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah, Simon, please, we'll keep in contact with you. It's okay, and just hear how long your battle goes on for and how it turns out.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And thank you for coming on, Simon.
Yeah, wonderful. You take care.
My pleasure. Always my pleasure. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Simon Spurrell from the Cheshire Cheese Company, and what a guy he is. I like his attitude, his positive attitude, which he's pushing there.
Yeah, he voted for an outcome he didn't get and then tried to make the best out of it, went all the way down to the wire, cooperated with the situation, and he's got absolutely shafted.
And that's an amazing situation there, which is the news that we're going to fight back against them. Now, what will Denmark do in bacon?
Yeah.
Will the prices here rise to a level where people can't afford food
It's
anymore.
irrelevant. Yeah, we're going to all
That's
be
what we're talking about, aren't we?
We're on the losing end of
We
this.
import so much from Holland in particular and France. Vegetables. I mean,
Yeah.
are they going to be like £180 charge on all these types of stuff coming over here?
We are on the losing end.
Well,
Thank you for watching. I'm impressed. You've passed the IQ test and got this far, so let's press that button. Let's do the last thing that helps us. It's got subscribe on it, you can't miss it, and please ring the bell for notifications of future videos.